to Yoga with Danielle. This is a yoga video designed to help with anxiety as well as working on breath work. We're living in uncertain times, so it's important to take the time to do your self-care and to also work on your physical health. This video is made possible in part by funding from Vancouver Foundation Small Neighborhood Grants. So in this video we're going to focus on our breathing, and also we're working toward doing crow at the end of this 4-part series of videos. We're hoping to achieve that. So let's get comfortable. Find a nice comfortable seat. If you need to sit on a block or a bolster, do that. Making sure that we have a nice strong spine. Our head is firmly over top of our shoulders. Chin is slightly tucked in. Let's close our eyes to start off so we can really ground into your bodies. We're going to practice breathing the Ujjayi breath, which means we're going to constrict the back of our throat so we can really hear the sound of the air coming in and out of our bodies. So breathing in through our nostrils and then out. Let's do that one more time, really breathing deeply into our bellies. And for the last one, let's breathe so we can exhale with a ha breath. So breathing in, and out with a ha. Beautiful. Letting your eyes open, let's inhale our arms up and exhale them down. Inhale them up and exhale down. Inhale up one more time. And turning to our right, placing your right hand on your left knee, left hand and right knee, doing a bit of a turn, breaking up our spinal column. Inhale up, other side. Right hand on your left knee. Making sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. And coming back to center. Beautiful. Let's warm up our spines a bit more by pretending we're stirring a pot. So get your nice big spoon in front of you and really stir that pot. And you can start either going clockwise or counterclockwise. Getting the spine engaged. You can even roll your shoulders while you're doing this. One more this way. And come back to center. We're actually going to switch the cross of the legs. So we always seem to sit one way, and it's good to change things up. We're going to stir the other direction now. Working up that spine. Beautiful. One more nice big stir. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Let's engage your shoulders, rolling them up and down a few times. Really draw your shoulders up, then all the way back down so you can really feel your shoulder blades clicking together. And release your shoulders. Point your head to your ceiling, lift over your chin, and then down, tucking into your chin. And back up one more time. And down. Bring your head up, looking over your right shoulder. It's important to make sure our necks are properly stretched before we get too involved. Our necks can be pretty cranky if we don't look after them properly. And we do a lot of texting and stuff, so it's important to make sure that it gets proper stretching. One more time to your left. Drop your ear to your shoulder. You can lightly tap your right shoulder to make sure it doesn't float up too much. Lift your shoulder, other side. Tapping the other shoulder just to remind it to stay down. Coming back to center. And let's just do a few side to side rolls. If you have a spot that where it feels stuck, feel free to take time just to work out that area. If you want to, you can definitely do full shoulder rolls, but make sure that you go both directions. Alright, rolls. Down to center. Line up slowly. Beautiful. So part of our breathing is trying to move with our breath. We're going to do an exercise that helps us do that. We're going to come to standing. To come to standing, we're going to try coming up from a seated position. So still sitting in crisscross, lifting up your arms, so you can get all the way from sitting to standing. That exercise is really good way to check to see how your balance is, as well as your general flexibility. Okay, coming up to standing, we're going to pretend we're holding a ball, and the ball is getting moved as we breathe. So we're going to inhale this ball up. Exhale it down, inhale it out, exhale it down. Now we're going to place the backs of our hands together and inhale up. Then exhale like a flower, you're blossoming. Then inhale your hands behind you. Exhale as you go down. Inhale as you come back up again. And do that a couple more times. Inhale down. Exhale out. Inhale all the way down. Take another breath here. So one exhale. Inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale behind you. Exhale down. And inhale up. One more time. So we're just going to bring the ball all the way down. Beautiful. Okay. Let's just take a breath in mountain pose. Let's make sure we're nice and strong. Our core is engaged. Our feet are firmly planted on the ground. Hands are just turned out to the side slightly. Let's take one deep breath here. Roll that out with a ha. Beautiful. We're going to try to squat down. So coming forward, extend your arms, lifting your feet off, or heels off the ground. We're going to squat down. And then back up again. Keeping on your toes the whole time. This is helping us with the range of movement that we need to do the crow pose. And one more up. And then back down. Dropping your hands, turning and coming into tabletop pose. Now, for those who have difficulty placing their hands on the ground in this position, there's a few different ways to help you with that. Try putting a blanket underneath. You can also use blocks, so you're holding onto the blocks like this. Or you could also use small weights, so you're curling your arms around. If you try doing a fist, that might help with the pressure as well. I don't know what your body's like, you need to try it. It's good if you play with a few different options to make it work for you. So coming into tabletop, making sure we're nice and strong, our hips underneath our knees are underneath our hips, our shoulders are right above our ankles, that'll be really weird, above our wrists, nice and strong. We're going to extend our right leg behind us. We're really pushing out and working our calf muscles as well as our back of our hamstrings. I'm really feeling this right where my calf muscles join my knee today. Just take 2 breaths here. Good. Coming forward, lift up that leg. We just want to keep the leg level with our hips. And if you want to have the challenge, really lifting the left arm up as well. Keeping your gaze just a little bit past your fingertips on the ground. Let's do 3 breaths. Good, dropping that hand down, and knee down. Okay, same thing on your left side. Extend your leg behind you, pressing into it. It might be different stretch on the side. Really just work yourself body into that. Good. Coming forward, making sure you're nice and square. Lift that leg up. Point and flex the toe a few times if you want. And then you can extend the right arm as well. And one more breath, nice deep breath. Release. Okay, good. Let's come back a little bit on our mat so you have more room to extend your arms. We're going to come to puppy pose, so really reaching your arms out, flattening your hands, making sure you've got a nice firm grip, and then slowly coming down, keeping your hips up as you drop your head to the ground. So you can get your forehead to the floor, and then trying to push your chest into the ground. If your forehead doesn't come to the ground easily, feel free to use a block or whatever you need to make it so your forehead touches and has some support as you stay in this pose for a few minutes. Well, at least a few breaths anyway. Good, and turn back up into tabletop. We're going to work a little bit on our arm balance and strength. So we're going to make sure we really plant our right hand carefully. And then we're going to extend, plant your right hand carefully. Actually, this is my left hand. Let's plant our left hand nice and firm. And then turn your knee out a little bit so your foot is coming behind you. Reaching your foot out. It's nice and long. You can plant your foot. Reach the arm up to the sky. So you have a nice line between all the way down from the tips of your fingers to the hands put on the ground. Once that's engaged, lift your right foot up. This is a modified half movement. Beautiful. Drop the arm down. And we're going to switch sides. I'm going to show you my back. My back, it does have some issues, so it's not going to look very beautiful on the back side, but it's all about doing the pose, not looking beautiful in it. So once again, making sure that bottom arm is nice and engaged. Raise the hand and the leg. Making sure you have that nice, long, straight line as well as possible. And release. Beautiful. Come back into child's pose just for a couple of breaths. You can be engaged, you're not in here. More important, just be really pushing your hips back towards your heels. If child's pose is uncomfortable for you, you can place a blanket beneath your ankles or between your ankles and your hips if it helps. A few different ways to make it more comfortable for you. Coming up slowly. Tap your feet up. Feel a little bit of a pulling your toes underneath, giving your toes a bit of a stretch. And coming forward. On your feet, and walk your feet to your hands, coming into a forward fold. We're going to do a lot of forward folds in this series that just help get the flexibility you need for a crow. If you can really reach down, I'm going to grab my toes with my hands so I'm really pulling myself into this pose. If you have long arms like mine, you may want to try to bend your elbows a little bit, get more of a stretch. And then release slowly, and then roll all the way up to standing. Coming into mountain pose. We're going to do one sun salutation. That helps us warm up our bodies and increases strength and flexibility. Let's just start off with, we're going to raise our arms up, coming into prayer, and then prayer fold forward, coming all the way down to the ground. Drop your hands to the ground. Forward fold. Half lift, so straighten your legs, straighten your back as much as possible. You can plant your hands on your front of your thighs, or for me, I'm wrapping them around the back side. And then forward fold again. Planting your hands nicely and firmly on the ground. Step your right foot back. So you want the railroad tracks here. Making sure you're nice and strong. Remember, if you find this pose difficult, you can always welcome to drop the knee. If you need the stability, always pad your knee too to keep it down. Keep it nice and strong. Pushing your knee away, raising the arms. Let's go into the V formation. Make sure we're breathing. Dropping your arms back down again. Step your left foot out back to meet your right. Coming into plank pillow pose. Making sure that you have your elbows engaged and pushed behind, so they'll be coming behind you or facing your toes. Core is engaged. Remember, you can always drop your knees if you need to. Just slowly lower, making sure that elbows are tucked in behind, so you drop more to the ground. Dragging your nose along the ground as you slowly come up into cobra. Nice deep breath. And we come back down. Beautiful. Tucking your toes back up. Push back to down facing dog. And I walk my feet out a little bit so I get more of a stretch. Really pushing your heels to the ground, lifting your hips to the sky. Beautiful. Use that right leg again. Point to the sky, look forward. Swing it through. Doesn't get there, help it along. Row, make sure you're at row tracks again. Coming up, pushing that hip away. Beautiful. Check your balance. And bring it down up to the sky. And relax. Hands to the ground. Step the left foot forward. Forward fold one more time. I'm going to grab the backs of my calves with my hands, really pulling my chest into my thighs. Beautiful. I'm going to roll up from here. Okay, left side. Sweep your arms up. Prayer fold forward. Stepping that left foot back. Making sure you're nice and strong. Pushing that knee away. And time, I'm going to bring your arms together in prayer. Hands together in prayer, and turn. It's a bit of a turn this way. If you want, you can extend your arms out. Beautiful. Bring your hands back. Dropping your hands to the ground. Making sure you get a nice firm foundation in your hands. The fingers are splayed. Step the left, right foot back. Come back into your plank pose. Really engage your back of your shoulders by making sure the elbows are turned in. Everything is engaged. Slowly lower to the ground. We're going to come up into Sphinx pose, so your elbows are coming right underneath your shoulders. Hands are flat on the ground. Really pushing your pelvic floor to the ground so you engage and lift up your chest. Release. And with one pose, on transition, coming into downward facing dog. You can walk your feet down a little bit if you want. Pushing back, nice and strong. Raise the left foot in the air. And step it through. Coming up. Hands together in prayer. Turn your body. If you have the balance, open your arms up wide. Coming back to this front. And slowly dropping your hands. And stepping forward. And as I'm laying here, once again in forward fold. Half lift, inhale up. Flat back as you can. Working to the ground and release. Let's reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. And coming into mountain pose. We're going to come down in a squat. So if you need to, make your legs as wide as possible. Engage your core, sitting back. So bring your arms on the inside of your knees. This gives you a good idea about how flexible you are, so it shows you how easy it will be for you to get into crow pose. If this is difficult for you, you're probably going to have some challenges with crow, which just means you're going to need to work on increasing the ability to get your hips open. Dropping the hands to the ground, push it behind you as we come and sit down. Beautiful. Extending your legs out in front of you. Grabbing a bolster if you find forward fold difficult. We're going to do a forward fold sitting down, just to make sure you're getting a good stretch into your quads, hamstrings. Sitting up nice and tall, lean forward. Get down to your toes if that's accessible to you. If this pose is difficult, you can always use a strap around your feet and you can pull on the strap. And coming out. Beautiful. I'm going to do one more fold before we go down to the floor. Let's do a butterfly fold. So our feet are together and our knees are splayed out. If your knees are coming up pretty high, you can always use a block just to give you support underneath this. Okay. We're going to reach our hands toward our feet. Sink our elbows into our knees and push our hips, knees down. Let's lean forward. Let's take 3 nice deep Ujjayi breaths in this pose. Last one, let's let go, let it out with a ha. Beautiful. Moving the block in behind you as you come down into, coming all the way down. Let's rock down by bringing your knees to your, up, bringing your head to your, into your knees. Really giving yourself a nice, full crunch. Beautiful. Bring your head down to the ground. We're going to put our arms in between your legs. I'm going to see how easy it is for us to get your elbows into your knees. Once again, this is a basically upside down roll. So you want your hands splayed out. So you bring your knees closer, as close as you can, preferably past your elbows. Let's take another 2 breaths in this pose. Beautiful. Grab onto your toes with your fingers. And let's just come into happy baby and rock our legs back and forth. Okay, good. Dropping your feet back down to the ground, keeping our hips, our knees up. Planting your feet so you can touch the backs of your heels with your fingers. A little bit of space in between your knees, but make sure you keep your legs square, pushing your hands to the ground, rocking your shoulder blades under as you come out into bridge pose. Elevating your hips as high as you can. Let's take 3 deep breaths lower in this pose. And you want to lift your heels, slowly lower your hips back onto the ground. Nice. Beautiful. Bring your legs a little bit further apart. Let's do a few windshield wipers back and forth. Get stuff in my way on the side. You're pausing on the right. Really bring your hips together and drop your legs to the right for a twist. Turning your hands so your palms are facing down and looking to your left. If you want more of a stretch, you can drop your left leg down a bit more and just place your right foot on top of your left knee. Really engages your left hip more. Turn back. Couple more windshields. Left side, bring your hips up close, dropping them down, looking over to your right side, placing your left knee on your left leg on your right knee for that extra stretch if you want it. One more deep breath. And relax, rolling forward, coming into Shavasana. Legs are nice and open. You're welcome to put a block underneath your knees if it makes you feel more comfortable. Making sure that your chin is slightly lower than the top of your head if you can. In your forehead, dropping your arms down to your sides. Relaxing your body. Let's take a couple another Ujjayi breaths in this pose. Really breathing from your belly. So breathing in, exhale. Let the video run out while you're in Shavasana. I just want to say thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope to see you for the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.